Hi guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to make the Sweet Breeze bracelet. Here's one of them. I used 2 looms to make this bracelet, but I realized that the tension's a little bit too hard on these, I don't know, I'm going to call it like a mini loom because it's smaller than like this loom. It's quite smaller, so I'm going to call it a little mini loom. I noticed that I'm getting a lot of stress areas from where I made my bracelet 2 looms long, so I think it's better to make it 1 loom long because of just the tension that it has. But here's another version of the bracelet. I thought that it could be a reversible design, which it still can be, but it has all these really cool bands on the inside of it that I thought were pretty cool. But it just doesn't want to stay that way. So I guess it's just a one-sided version. And here's another color scheme of it. You can really use any colors. I used quite a few of different colors in this one. And then I think I used like 2 different bands in this one, maybe 3. And I used 2 colors on this one. But today I'm going to be just doing the 1 loom version, which is a lot smaller. It needs quite a bit more extension to it. But it still turns out pretty cute, I think. So I'm going to be using white, this neon green, and this neon orange today to make the bracelet. So I'm going to show you how to set it up. What you want to do is you want to put... I like to use 2 bands to make the extension on this bracelet because I think it just holds a lot better. So there's this one, and it has 2 bands on it. So if you want to start it off with the 2 bands, with your arrows facing this way, away from you, so just place them right there, and they'll just sit there for right now. So I'm going to grab my green first, and I'm hoping it shows up on the loom pretty good. So you're going to want to go from this center peg to this left peg right here, and then do the same thing on the right. And then you'll take another rubber band and place it right there from the left side to the middle peg. And then you'll go from this right peg to the center peg. And you're just going to follow this all the way up your loom until you get to the end, which will be like right in there where you'll make your last, I guess, diamond shape. So I'm just going to do the same thing that I just did. Like I said, you just repeat it all the way up the loom. But I'll show you here a couple times. And they just kind of overlap each other. And you're also going to be making, what is it? A double border, I believe is what it's called. I just learned it recently from watching a video on Rainbow Loom. And it's tutorials by A. And I forgot which bracelet it was, but it has it has the double border on it. So we're going to be doing that, and that, I think that's what really adds to the tension maybe on this bracelet. But I think it might be looping the bands that makes it really tight. So I'm going to show you one more time, and then I'm going to pause the video and finish this off, and then we'll go on with our next step. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just going to finish this up doing the same process. Okay, so I am down to the end of my loom. This is kind of what it should look like. You can use different colors, like I said, obviously, because not everyone's going to want the same color bracelet. So I'm just going to do the last diamond shape on here. Oops. Okay, so there we go. That's what your loom should look like right now. And now I'm going to go to my white bands. And I'm going to go up the center first. And you're just going to place them on one right after the other. And work your way all the way up the loom. Sorry. My hands aren't wanting to work today. So we'll just keep going up the loom. Sorry, I figured I'd just do this step real quick. Okay, so now you got those on there. And then you're going to go from either your left side or your right side, whichever one you want to start with first. And you're going to do pretty much the same thing all the way down until you get to this point. And then you're going to go from left to right. Well, left to center. So you just put a band on and go like that. And then you work your way up. The same thing you just did in the middle. Whoops. I'm going to pause and just do this real quick. Okay, so I got to this point right here, and what I'm going to do is bring that one over to the middle peg. Kind of push it down a little bit. And then, oops, sorry. And then I am going to work from my right side. So I'm going to put one here to here and then just go all the way down and repeat the same process that we did on the left side. Okay, so now I'm at this point again, and I am going to add another band to it, going from the right to the center. And this is what your loom should look like now. I'll kind of bring it up closer. So that's what it should look like. And I do prefer to use this smaller loom because the pegs are closer together than they are on this loom. They're a little bit more spread out. So like the tension's a little bit lessened on the loom than it would be on this loom. And I haven't tried it on my clear and blue loom yet, like the original rainbow loom. But I don't know. The pegs are still kind of far apart on that one. So, okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to turn our loom around. And we are going to add a cap band on this peg right here. And I'm going to take white, because that's my border, and just wrap it around twice, like so. So you should have a cap band on there. And what we're going to do first is we're going to work on the chain first. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at these bands on the inside. And so far, this one right here is my first band that I'm going to be pulling up and moving from this peg. From this peg to this peg. So you want to go inside your cap band and grab that first band that's on the cap band, underneath the cap band, and pull it over to the left. Like that. And you can work your whole way down, which is what I'm going to do. You just go in and grab that bottom band and bring it over. You can kind of see them really good if you put your loom kind of upwards here. And then you just keep going all the way down. And that's what you're going to do with all of these bands. Well, that's what I'm going to do with all the white bands that are on mine. And then we're just going to keep working our way down. Just single chains all the way down there. And then we're going to go inside here and grab this one and bring it over. Kind of push it down a little bit. And then we're going to go back to this part of our loom. And my next band will be my band that's going to go over here. So I'm going to grab that, go inside the cap band again, just slowly take it over and pull it over to that side. And then you just work your way down again. Work your way down or work your way up the loom, I guess. And there we go. So your loom should look like that. Excuse me. And now we're going to go in, and our next band under our cap band is going to be the center. So what we're going to do is just do the same thing all the way up the center until you get to this, until you get to this end peg. So all the way up. Just doing the same thing that we did on the left and right side. So I'm going to pause and do this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I worked all the way up my loom on that middle section, and you take it all the way to the top. And now I'm going to kind of push my bands down again, just so they're kind of not in the way. Well, making more space, I suppose. You don't have to push them down really hard, just a little push down so they can lay right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is do the double banding process, the double border. So I'm going to turn my loom like this, and I'm going to work from this section first. So what you want to do is you want to go in here and grab this top band, just the top one, and pull it over like that. And you're going to want to do this to all of them on this side. So you grab the top band and pull it over. Top band, pull it over. Top band, pull it over. Whoops. Trying to look at my camera and show you guys at the same time. So pull it over like that. And we're not going to do this to the center row at all. So these ones kind of got jumbled up a little bit. Got to figure out which one's the top one. I don't know how these got twisted up so bad. Give me 1 second here. I think this one, yeah, this one's the top. There we go. Okay. And you just grab your top bands and do them all the way down until you get right here. You don't want to do this section. This one doesn't need to be flipped over. So I'm going to turn my loom again, and I'm going to start from this side and work my way up. So you go in, you grab that top band and pull it over. Top band, pull it over. Top band, pull it over. And this is going to create the double border design, which I really think is cute. It's a cute little design. But yeah, I learned it from Tutorials by A on Rainbow Loom on YouTube. Okay, so this is what your loom should look like now. You got like 3 bands on this side, which is your border colors. This one's going to be a border color too. Well, in the middle, but okay, so the next step is always the fun step. Now you're going to begin looming all your colored bands that are on the bottom, or whatever bands you chose to do, your white, green, yellow, whatever. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back into where your cap band is, and my first band is on the left side, so I'm going to grab the left band and take it, and don't put it on the first peg, you want to put it on the second peg on the left side. And then you go to your right side and grab that one, not the first peg, but the second peg on the right side. And you're just going to leave these bands for right now, because you're going to work the center first, and then we'll work the outside. So we're going to go in here, and my next bands are going to be my green bands, which are kind of hard to show you, but my green bands are in there. And I'm going to grab the top green band. I'm pulling back all these other bands, grabbing the top green one, and it should work its way to the left. So you're not going to put it on the second peg, you're going to put it on the third peg. And then I'm going to go in and grab my other green side and put it on the right. And then we're going to go into the next set of bands. And I'm going to grab my top one, which is my orange. I'm going to take it over here. And I'm going to go in there and push these bands back and grab that one little orange band in there. Don't know if you can see it. I'm going to grab it and bring it over here. So I'm trying to see if I could show you guys better. So you go inside the bands. And I'm going to grab that top green one, maybe here, like looking at the camera. So I'm going to pull that. And for some reason, that's the one that went on the right first. So you just want to see which band is on the top when you pull these bands back, because that will depend on whether you go to the left or to the right. So I'm going to go in here again and see if you pull these back, you'll see those two bands right there. And then I'm going to grab my top band, which goes to the left now. And then this one goes to the right. And then you go to the next peg, push these bands back, and go to the left or to the right, depending on which band's on the top that you grab. Pull it over there. Okay, so I worked on this one. No, I worked on this one. So now I'm going to go to this one, the next one up. And I'm going to grab the top band and put it on the next peg. Grab the top band, put it on this side. And then I'm going to show you it one more time. So you pull those bands back and you can see the two in there. You grab that top band. Oh my goodness. Grab that top band in there. This one's going to the right this time. And then I'm going to go in and grab that other. Wait. Nope. That one does not go first. It's the other one that goes first. Okay, so if you have that issue, then just kind of pull that band back and kind of wiggle it into place by moving your hook around in there. So I'm going to try this again. Gotta look in there. Sometimes you can turn your loom to the side if you need to try to find that band that you need to grab. Which I almost got it. There we go. So this one goes first. And then this one. Okay, so next one goes over here. And this one goes over here. And I'm just going to kind of go down the whole loom with you. I know that kind of makes the video longer. But it's a little bit tricky, so. Well, at least I find it a little tricky because I still mess up on it. But, yeah, you just go in there and grab that top band. And what we're going to do is put that one over there. And put that one over there. And you still got one more set of bands to do in here. And what you're going to do is you're going to go in and grab that top band again. And you're just going to place it over the one that you last looped. And you just do it on both sides. And this is what your loom should look like now. Now we're going to go back to the start of our loom where our cap band is. And we're going to work on these sides. The left side and the right side. It doesn't matter which one you want to start on first, but you're going to just pretty much single chain the bands all the way up until you get to the end and then put them in the middle peg right here. So, and you're going to grab both of these colored bands on the bottom. So I'm going to be grabbing both of these orange, the neon orange color, and I'm just going to take it and move it from here to here. And it's going to work all the way up. So you'll be grabbing 2 bands at a time. So you go in and leave all those white bands. You go inside them. You grab these 2 bottom bands. And you just bring them up to the next peg. Like that. So I'm going to go in here. My next bands I'm grabbing are green. So my green ones are going to go right up there. And that's what you do all the way down the loom on both sides. If I knew how to fast forward this, I'd just fast forward it, but I don't know how to. So you go in and grab those bands. You push these bands back and you can kind of see them better. And you just grab it and pull it up. Grab those bands and put them up there. And you just keep working your way down the loom. Be really careful though, because you don't want to lose these 2 bands that you're pulling upwards. So I got to the bottom of my loom, and there's these 2 bands. Sorry. Give me a minute here. Trying to figure this out real quick. Yeah, there's these 2 bands in there, and you're going to grab them. Be very careful because there's a lot of tension in these last bands because there's so many bands on there. So carefully pull it around and place it in the middle peg. And that's what you're going to do on this side as well. You're going to go in and grab these colored bands and bring them over. All of those underneath there, you're just going to bring them over to the next peg and go all the way down and then end it right there. So I'm going to do a couple with you, and then I'm going to pause the video and finish it off. And then we'll be able to hook our bracelet together. If I can get these bands. Okay, so you go in and grab those 2 colored bands, or whatever you chose. And then you just bring them up and place them on there. Grab those 2 colored bands, bring them up, place them on the next peg. I'll do one more. I'll just bring it up there, and that's what it should be. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm down at the end of my loom. You can still see these 2 colored bands that I need to pick up. So I'm going to go in and grab the orange, bring it up to the next peg, and I'm going to go in and grab these greens. Grab those 2 bands, and very carefully, like I said, there's a lot of bands on this end, so just be careful with stretching it over, because you want them to be kind of together when you pull them over. You don't want them stuck right here or right there. So this is what your bracelet should look like now. And so what we're going to do is flip it around to where we added those 2 bands. Well, we don't really need to flip it around, but I guess I flip it around for the video, excuse me. So you got these 2 bands that I can't grab, that you added on first when you first started the bracelet. There you go. So these 2, there's a lot of bands. That's why I said to add 2 of these, so it can like hopefully withstand all that all the bands right there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to grab these 2 bands from inside this peg. And I can't really see them right now. So you go all the way down and grab those 2 white bands and bring them around very carefully. Just stretch them together here. And then I put them on my fingers because I find that easier. But if you want to, you can use a hook and just put it right here. What I like to do is I like to add a few more of these bands. So I'm going to grab 2 of these bands again. And this is going to kind of be your extension for this bracelet. So I'm just going to scoot them over and pull these bands over. So they're on these. And I'm just going to pull that back and pull those other 2 bands over. So it looks like that. And then I'm just going to keep adding them until I feel like the bracelet's long enough, which I think you need about maybe 8 or 9 of these. I got a pretty small wrist, so I don't know. I usually add about 8 or 9 extension bands. So pull those over, just pull it on like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 4 on there. I'm going to pause this and add on my other ones. Okay, so I added on my extension here. I might add on one more. I don't know. That kind of feels a little bit like it might be a little bit snug on my wrist, but okay, I'm going to add one more. So I got 9 extension bands on here, and I doubled them up, like I said. So what I'm going to do now is just to keep these bands attached to each other, I'm going to use my C-clip, which I forgot to mention that in the beginning of the video. So what I'm going to do is attach these bands to my finger, because I don't know, I'm not really good with using the hook. So you just stretch them out. Anything to do to get the C-clip on. So you got your C-clip on now. And what you're going to do is you're going to start pulling your bracelet off the loom. And what I found easiest is to slowly pull off the top like that. And then turn it to the side and work from one side or the other side. Just to kind of slowly pull the bracelet off. But it kind of curls up at the end because of all of the tension. But you can get to the point where you can just kind of pull it off. And you can just like adjust it here. So it's a lot shorter than this bracelet. Because like I said, I used 2 looms. So it's quite a bit shorter. But like I said, the stress of doing it with 2 looms really like makes you question if you might break your looms or not. So I wouldn't do it with 2 looms. Yeah, just because of like, you can see like the white part right there from where the tension is on that one. The other one has tension in the back side of the loom. So it's kind of going white right there because of the tension. But this is what your bracelet should look like when it's done. And then what you do is you just go down to the end here. And there should be a cap band hidden in here. So you just pull those 2 aside. And there's the cap band. So I'm just going to pinch the cap band. If I can grab it. Just pinch it and grab it. And then put it in there. In the C-clip. And there's the bracelet. You might need to make it even bigger than 9. I don't know. Let me take off some of these bracelets here so we can see. Sorry, I got indentations from my other bracelet, but kind of unwind that. Yeah, 9's kind of even a little snug on me, so you might need 10 or 11 to extend the bracelet right. But yeah, that's what it should look like when it's all done. And this is the Sweet Breeze bracelet that I designed. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I have an Instagram that you can follow, and it is Laminadas Looms on Instagram. And I'm going to try to post more videos if I can of my bracelet designs and stuff when I do more bracelets. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed making this bracelet.